The movie begins in Atlanta City. Jackson wakes up in the morning and gets ready for work. Just then, he gets a call from his friend Ray. Ray tells him, "There's a small job for you. A man named Mars needs to be taught a lesson." The job was given by Ray's mother-in-law. Jackson quickly gets ready and goes to the place Ray mentioned. Mars is at the gym, working out. Jackson casually helps him for a moment, but Mars asks,
"Bob Myers, I ain't never seen you right before."
Jackson replies, "I came here for something important. You shouldn't have hit your wife, Lisa." Mars gets angry and says,
"What are you, a cop? Private detective? Lawyer?"
"You can't just come in here and talk like that." A fight breaks out, but Jackson easily defeats him using his martial arts skills. Before leaving, Jackson warns, "Men like you have no right to hurt women. If you touch Lisa again, you'll regret it." Then he walks away. In the next scene, we see Giari, a talented singer, rehearsing on stage. Her boss interrupts and says, "Your singing has become weak. You haven't been focused lately." Giari feels upset and leaves the stage. When she gets into her car, she sees a strange man, Roger, sitting in the driver's seat. Shocked, she watches as Roger starts the car and drives her away. On the other side of town, Jackson is now working at a nightclub as the head of security. When he discovers people using drugs in the restroom, he goes in, warns them, and tries to get them out. One man resists and a fight breaks out. Jackson calls another guard and handles the situation. Afterward, Ray gives Jackson the payment for teaching Mars a lesson. Jackson returns some of the money to Ray and says, "Give this back to that woman."
"You should be ashamed of yourself taking that woman's money."
While they are talking, Jackson sees Gina on the CCTV. He smiles, goes outside, and walks toward her. Gina is happy to see him. Jackson tells her, "After leaving the police department, now I'm working here as head of security." They talk for a while and share many things. The next morning, Jackson is woken by the doorbell. A delivery boy gives him a box. When he opens it, a man points a gun at him and orders him to come quietly. But Jackson fights back, takes the gun, and beats the men. Later, Jackson visits Holland's office with the box and angrily asks what's going on. Holland calmly says he needs help finding Giari, a famous singer who went missing. Jackson agrees to take the job for $50,000. Holland pays half up front, and Jackson leaves. Jackson tells his friend Ray, who says Giari's boyfriend, Money, owns a club. Jackson meets Money there and tells him everything. They visit Giari's house and find it a mess. Giari is gone. Jackson promises to find her within a week. At a party that night, Jackson meets Holland again, and a rich investor named Yoon Song. When Jackson asks Yoon about Giari, she avoids answering and leaves with her guards. Later, Jackson talks with Gina, who tries to comfort him. The next morning, two men on a motorbike shoot at them. Jackson fights back, but Gina is shot. He rushes her to the hospital and asks Money to protect her while he continues his search. Jackson goes to a biker club looking for the gunman. The bikers refuse to talk, so he threatens them. One finally admits the attacker's name was Bruce Lee and says Holland hired him. Jackson reveals the bullets were fake, just to scare them. Jackson storms into Holland's office and demands the truth. Scared, Holland confesses that he borrowed money from Yoon Song and she kidnapped Giari. She also sent killers after Jackson. Meanwhile, Yoon tortures Holland for talking and gives him 48 hours to return her money. Jackson then meets Money and tells him they've found Giari's location. They drive to an abandoned building, where Giari is being held by Yoon's guards. Jackson says, "We'll go in from the front," but Money replies, "No, we can go through the roof using wires. I have the equipment." Money quickly sets up the wire, and both of them quietly climb up to the roof. Jackson throws a smoke bomb into the building and contacts his friend Ray, telling him to enter from the front and distract the guards for a while. The guards begin to smell the smoke. At that moment, Ray enters the building. The guards stop him at the entrance, and Ray says, "We got a report that there's a gas leak here and we've come to evacuate the building." One guard doesn't believe him and says, "If you want to investigate, only one man can go inside. The rest must stay out." Ray argues, "Are you crazy? That'll take 2 hours. But if we all go in together and work fast, we can finish in 10 minutes. The guard finally agrees and allows them to enter. Meanwhile, Jackson and Money descend and reach the room where Giari was kept. But Giari isn't there. She has already gone with a guard toward the washroom. Ray gets a signal indicating the gas leak is coming from the upper floor, so he decides to go upstairs. But the guard stops him. Ray pretends to call the head office, and out of fear, the guard tells him to wait for 5 minutes, then calls his companion, who is with Giari. Before the guard can warn his partner that people are coming upstairs, Giari takes advantage of the moment, hits the guard from behind, and knocks him unconscious. Then she senses someone approaching, so she hides on the other side. The newcomers turn out to be Jackson and Money, who don't see her. They find the unconscious guard and assume Giari attacked him and escaped, so they start searching elsewhere. As they go downstairs, one of Yoon's guards catches Money and puts a gun to his head, about to shoot him. At the same time, Ray also arrives, but he can't intervene and continues his task of locating the gas leak. He strikes an axe into the wall and finally finds the gas source. Money grabs the guard's gun, but the guard pulls out another one. Money tries to distract him by lighting a cigarette, but the guard kicks it away. Angry, Money goes to shoot, but Ray yells,
No, look, it's a gas leak. If you shoot that gun, we'll all go up.
They start fighting hand to hand. During the struggle, Ray slips, and the cigarette falls into the gas leak, starting a big fire that spreads upstairs where Giari is trapped. Money wants to run to her, but the others stop him. Jackson finds Giari and tells her to wait while he gets Money. On his way down, guards attack and shoot him. He pretends to be dead. The others escape the burning building. Jackson later wakes up, finds Giari, and they escape through a window before the place collapses. Yoon Song, angry at her failed guards, almost kills them, but decides to wait. Jackson and Giari reach a hospital, where Mars, now a doctor, treats him. Money arrives and is happy Giari is safe. Later, Jackson and Money go to find Gina, but learn she left for Swerve City Records. They call there, and Jackson disguises his voice. Gina arrives and answers the phone. Jackson warns her not to go inside, but she doesn't believe him until he says their secret phrase, "Too late, Yoon and her men are already inside." Gina tries to run but gets trapped. Yoon orders her men to kill her and the secretary. When they can't find Gina, Yoon screams at them to search. Jackson and Money reach the building and fight their way in. Jackson runs out of bullets but keeps fighting. He finds Yoon and her guards threatening the secretary, who's tied to a chair at the edge, ready to be pushed off. Jackson rushes forward and fights the guards. Despite their numbers, he manages to overpower them. Then Yoon Song herself attacks Jackson, and a long, brutal fight begins. In anger, Yoon cuts the rope holding the secretary, causing her to fall. But Jackson grabs her hand just in time and pulls her back up. Gina reaches the rooftop and sprays Yoon with a hose. Yoon slips, loses balance, and falls off the building to her death. Jackson unties the secretary, and they run to Holland, where Money is waiting. Money shouts, "We have to leave! The building is on fire!" They help Holland into the car and drive away just as the building explodes and burns down completely. Jackson says, "We should get out of here," but Money gives him the car keys and says, "You go ahead. We'll meet again soon." They say goodbye and go their separate ways. And that's how the story ends. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.